Hello students, welcome again in our today's video lesson. The last video lesson I have discussed with you up to page number 61 the two activities that shows that solids have definite shape and definite volume. Now in today's video lesson we will start from page number 62, that is the liquids. As all of you know the properties of liquid, that liquids are having very more intermolecular space than as compared to solids, so they have less force of attraction, due to which liquids have definite volume but no definite shape. They also cannot flow, they can flow from high level to low level, okay, and the liquid takes the shape of the container in which they are kept, okay. So many liquids you can have, like water, common example, juice, milk, alcohol, oil, mercury is a liquid metal. All are these example of liquid. So here are also two activities. First one is to show that liquid does not flow from one place to another, but a liquid does. Solids cannot flow, but liquid can flow. How will you prove that? For that, if you take a tumbler, water and rice grains. So if you take some rice in a glass tumbler and split it on the floor, what you will see that the places where the rice was spilled, they are still at the same place. They don't change their places, okay. On the other hand, when you take some water in a glass and you spill them on the floor, what you will see actually, the water flows on the floor, okay, and cover the surface also. This proves that the rice grains which are solid, they don't flow. They don't flow. So solids does not flow. Whereas when you spill water on the floor, what will see? Water spread all over on the floor. This shows that water can flow, which is a liquid. So solids have definite shape, though they don't flow, but liquids don't have definite shape, but they can flow only in one direction, that is high level to low level. Another activity is there to show that a liquid which does not have definite shape, has a definite volume, can flow by itself, and has only one free surface. For that, what you have to take some colored water, a few drops, container of different shape, like beaker, plate, measuring cylinder. Now put 220 ml of colored water with the help of measuring cylinder and pour it into one container, okay. Now repeat the same thing. You put the same water into the another container. Again you put the same water in another container. What observation you will put from that? You will see that liquid take the shape of the container in which you have kept. Once it takes the shape of the bowl, when you put in the glass, it will take the shape of the glass, or some other vessel. When you put water into it, it will take the shape of that container. So this shows that liquids have no definite shape, but they has definite volume because when you put water, this colored water, into the different vessels, they cover some space inside it. They occupy some space inside it. So this shows that water or liquid has definite volume and can flow itself. Okay, so when you pour water from one container to another container, what you will see, when you put water into the container, it flows from high level to low level. It shows that they can flow. It has only one free surface. Yes, the container in which we pour the water, that container is open from the top. So from the top you can see the surface of water. So that is the free surface. So liquids have only one free surface. Okay, liquids have only one free surfaces. So liquids are known as volatile liquid because they are kept in a closed container. We can keep in a closed container. So from this experiment we concluded that the volume of water is same 220 ml in all the containers, but the shape of the different containers, and hence liquid have no definite shape, but since they occupy the space in the container, so we say that they have definite volume. Okay, so in this way we can verify the different properties of liquid, that they don't have definite shape, but they do have definite volume. They take the shape of the container in which they kept. They can flow, and they have only one free surface. Okay, these are the properties of liquid. Now the next point is the gas. Again, in the gas, what we see, if you see the molecular structure of gases also, what we find, so the molecule of water is somewhat like this. They are not very close, but they have some distance between them. But in case of it is liquid, but when you say about the gases, the molecules are very far away from each other, like this. The molecules are very far away from each other. So gases have no definite shape. Number 2, no definite volume. Number 3, flows in any direction. 4, no free surfaces. No free surfaces. So these are the properties of gases. Why they have no definite shape, no definite volume, can flow in any direction, and no free surfaces? Because as we can see, if we say about the molecular structure of gases, the distance between them, molecules of the gases, are maximum. So intermolecular force of attraction is the least in case of gases. So they have no definite shape and no definite volume also. So when you keep a gas in a small container, it will take its entire space, and the same volume if you take two gas jars of different shape or size. Suppose this is one gas jar, this one is another gas jar which is bigger in size. If you 10 ml of gas here, here also 10 ml of gas here. What you will see, the when you keep 10 ml of gas in this small gas jar, it will occupy the entire space of this gas jar. And when you put the same amount of gas in the bigger gas jar, it will occupy the entire space inside it. So this space shows that gases takes the shape of the container in entire space of the container in which they are kept. Okay. So here is one activity again is there, that air, the one of the property of air, that air also exerts pressure. So air exerts pressure we can have, as I have shown you in the online class. Those who are present, they know that with the help of a syringe I have shown that how air exerts pressure. So many experiments we can do here, not the only this one that given in your book. So to show this, you can take a straw, a glass of water or cold drinks or some milk, whatever you want to take. Now you suck with the help of that straw. What you find, you can suck the entire liquid which is present in the glass. How it is possible? Because when you suck with the help of a straw, the air inside the straw first comes to your mouth, and the pressure of that air, it will absorb the liquid in the that is in the form of maybe cold drinks or some milk. Okay, it will come with the air pressure to your mouth. So this proves that air exerts pressure. Okay. So the activity which is given in your book also you can also have. You have to take a boiled egg. Then you have to take a jar which has a small spout in it, means a small mouth, and the main mouth of the bottle should be in such of a size that a boiled egg cannot go inside it easily. Okay, so you have to keep in this in your mind. The mouth of the bottle should not be so big that egg will fall into the bottle very easily through the mouth. So you have to take the bottle in such a way that the egg can only be fitted, not slips down. So what you do now, apply some oil in the mouth of the bottle and place a peeled egg on the bottle. The egg will not go into the bottle. Now put your mouth at the rubber tube fitted at the side of the opening of the bottle, like this you can see in the figure in your book. Now squeeze it. Now you blow air with your mouth. So what you will see then? You will see that the egg comes down into the bottle. How it happens? Because when you suck air, okay, when you suck air, the air which is present inside the bottle, it has pressure. So when you suck the air, with the pressure of that air, that egg also comes down. Okay. So if you invert it, again do the same experiment, again you will see the same thing happens, but the egg will stay only in the mouth because the bottle is inverted for that reason. So in this way we can see, with an excess external pressure pushes the egg into the bottle. So when the air is blown into the bottle, its pressure also increases, and the and the excess internal pressure of the air expel the egg out of the bottle. So blow air, you have to blow air. Okay, so egg will come out from the bottle. Okay, so when the bottle was straight, the bottle goes into the bottle, egg goes into the bottle with the help of air pressure. Again with the help of air pressure, when you make the bottle inverted, the egg will come out of the bottle. So see how the air pressure works. So the application of air pressure is so vast. Air pressure is there in the tires of vehicles, of your bicycle. Air pressure is used in the football. Air pressure is used in syringe. Air pressure is used to suck cold drinks. Okay, so there are so many applications of air pressure. Okay, so in this way we can see that different properties of solid, liquid and gas. On the basis of this property we can also differentiate between the solid, liquid and gas. Okay, so this is all about the chapter up to this. In the next video class I will explain the factor responsible for different states of matter: intermolecular space, intermolecular force of attraction, Brownian motion and interconversion of state of matter. Okay, so this is the chapter that we have discussed today. Hope you have enjoyed while watching this video and you have understood also. Thank you very much for watching this. Thank you.